Hello everyone, welcome to another video. This is the part 3 of previous year question solving session. We are solving the previous year question paper of 2016 Biological Science. So in this video we are going to solve the question paper of Human Physiology. So in the earlier video we have solved the group A, that is botany, as well as we have solved the question paper of zoology part. So here we are going to solve the question paper of Human Physiology. So let's begin. The first question is, with reference to respiration, which is correct? Pulmonary ventilation is equal to alveolar ventilation. Alveolar ventilation is less than pulmonary ventilation. Alveolar ventilation is more than pulmonary ventilation, or none of the above. So the correct answer is alveolar ventilation is less than pulmonary ventilation. Next is, aggregates of lymphoid tissue present in the distal portion of the small intestine are known as villi, Peyer's patches, Brunner's gland, or choroid plexus. So this is the aggregate of lymphoid tissue in the distal portion of the small intestine is known as Peyer's patches. So option B is correct. Next is, in which of the following situation there is a risk factor for children acquiring electroblastosis foetalis? তার মধ্যে কোনটার মধ্যে ইলেকট্রোব্লাস্টোসিস ফয়েটালিসটা হওয়ার চান্সটা থাকে? মাদার ইজ RH নেগেটিভ, ফাদার ইজ RH নেগেটিভ, মাদার ইজ RH নেগেটিভ, ফাদার ইজ RH পজিটিভ, mother is RH positive, father is also RH positive, or mother is RH positive, father is RH negative. So the correct answer will be mother is RH negative and father is RH positive. Next is, if Henle's loop were absent from mammalian nephron, which one of the following is to be expected? There will be no urine formation, there will be hardly any change in the quantity and quality of the urine will be more concentrated, or the urine will be more dilute. So if there is Henle's loop is absent, the urine will be more dilute, because the Henle's loop were involved in the concentration of urine. Next is, in brain, the lateral ventricle is connected to the dioswell, that is foramen of Magendie, D is foramen of Monroe, C is foramen of Laska, D is both A and B. So this lateral ventricle is connected to the foramen of Monroe. Endemic goiter is a state of increased thyroid function, normal thyroid function, decreased thyroid function, moderate thyroid function. So this is basically decreased thyroid function. যখন thyroid যে গ্ল্যান্ডটা যদি ফাংশন না করে, that will lead to goiter. Next is, the main function of fimbriae of the fallopian tube in the female is to release ovum from the Graafian follicle, make necessary changes in the endometrium for implementation of ovum, helps in the development of corpus luteum, or helps in the collection of the ovum after ovulation. So the fimbriae of the fallopian tube, that is infundibulum, helps in the collection of the ovum after ovulation. So D is correct. Next is, if the Henle's loop were absent. So we have already solved that thing. So the question number 8, which of the following pairs of disease is viral as well as transmitted by mosquito? Elephantiasis and dengue, encephalitis and sleeping sickness, yellow fever or sleeping sickness, yellow fever and dengue. So yellow fever and sleeping sickness, that is can be transmitted by mosquito. The infective stage of Plasmodium is sporozoites, cryptozoites, metacryptozoites, or trophozoites. So the sporozoites is the infective stage of Plasmodium. Next is the immature male germ cell undergo division to produce sperms by the process spermatogenesis. Which of the following statement is correct regarding the above? Spermatogonia have 46 chromosomes and always undergo second mutic cell division. B. Primary spermatocytes divides by mutic division. Secondary spermatocytes have 33 chromosomes and undergo second mutic cell division. Spermatozoa are transformed into spermatids. So the correct answer is C. The secondary spermatocytes have 23 chromosomes and they will go second mutic divisions to produce 4 haploid gametes. The gland which regulates the level of calcium in blood, thyroid, adrenal, parathyroid, or pituitary. Out of them, which one regulates the calcium level in the calcium level of blood? The calcium level of blood is regulated by parathyroid. The brain stem is made up of midbrain, pons, cerebellum, midbrain, pons, medulla oblonga, diencephalon, medulla oblonga, and cerebellum, hypothalamus, or pons. So the brain stem is basically made up of midbrain, pons, and medulla oblonga. So option B is correct. Select the correct option representing the parts of nephron that respectively absorb glucose, amino acid, inorganic ions, and urea. So glucose, amino acids, and inorganic ions, basically these three are absorbed by PCT, that is proximal convoluted tubule, and this urea is absorbed by ascending loop of Henle. So option C will be correct. Which one of the following cells is not phagocytic? Macrophage, monocyte, neutrophil, basophil. Among them, which is not a phagocytic cell? So basophil is not a phagocytic cell. Which one of the following enzyme carries out initial steps in the digestion of milk in human? Pepsin, rennin, lipase, trypsin. So among them, which one is responsible for the initial digestion of milk in human? That is rennin. After taking a long deep breath, we do not respire for some second due to more CO2 in blood, more O2 in blood, less CO2 in blood, or both B and C. So that is basically we have more O2 in blood and less CO2 in blood. So option D is correct. Next is inspiration occurs when there is a negative pressure in the lungs with respect to atmospheric pressure. This negative pressure is achieved. Intrapulmonary pressure is less than the atmospheric pressure. Intrapulmonary pressure is greater than the atmospheric pressure. Intrapulmonary pressure is equal to the atmospheric pressure, or interpleural pressure becomes more than the interalveolar pressure. So the correct option will be intrapulmonary pressure is less than the atmospheric pressure. Next is the most abundant mineral in human body: iron, sodium, potassium, calcium. So the most abundant mineral is calcium. Which of the following pairs of food components in human reaches the stomach totally undigested? Starch, fat, fat cellulose, starch cellulose, starch protein. So fat and cellulose reaches the stomach totally undigested form, because in the mouth it is not digested, whereas starch is digested into, like starch is converted into maltose by the action of amylase. Next is during ventricular systole, oxygenated blood is pumped into pulmonary artery and deoxygenated blood is pumped into the artery. Option B is oxygenated blood is pumped into the aorta, deoxygenated blood is pumped into the pulmonary vein. C is oxygenated blood is pumped into the pulmonary vein, deoxygenated blood is pumped into the pulmonary artery. Option D is oxygenated blood is pumped into aorta and deoxygenated blood is pumped into the pulmonary aorta. So the correct answer will be option C. Option C is correct. The oxygenated blood is pumped into the pulmonary vein and deoxygenated blood is pumped into the pulmonary artery. Next is the highest and lowest concentration of urea is observed in hepatic vein, hepatic artery renal vein, hepatic vein renal vein, hepatic portal vein, hepatic vein. So highest concentration of urea is observed, highest and least is observed in hepatic vein and renal vein. The function of vagus nerve inverting the heart is initiate the heartbeat, reduce the heartbeat, accelerate the heartbeat, maintain constant heartbeat. So it reduces the heartbeat. A condition in which body's internal environment remains relatively constant within a limit is hematoma, homeostasis, hemopoiesis or homostasis. So the correct answer is homeostasis. The source of somatostatin is sum of that of thyroxine, calcitonin, insulin, glucagon, somatotrophin, prolactin, vasopressin and adrenaline. So somatostatin is the source that comes from the same source where the insulin and glucagon is coming. So option B is correct. Sperm acrosome is derived from Golgi body, endoplasmic reticulum, lysosome, mesosome. The acrosome is coming from Golgi bodies. Virus contains only RNA, only DNA, both RNA and DNA, neither DNA or RNA. So basically virus can contain either DNA or RNA. So এখানে মধ্যে অপশন যে চারটা দেওয়া আছে তার মধ্যে কোনোটা অপশনই প্রপারলি কারেক্ট থাকছে না। সো এখানের মধ্যে আমরা বলতে পারবো যে নাইদারের জায়গায় হতে পারে আইদার ডিএনএ অর আরএনএ। ইফ দ্য টার্ম there could be a typological error could be possible, so it should have been either DNA or RNA. Either DNA or RNA would be correct answer. যে তার মধ্যে হয়তোবা ডিএনএ থাকবে হয়তোবা আরএনএ থাকবে, বাট ইন কেস অফ তাদের লাইফ সাইকেল যদি আমরা কনসিডার করি, তাদের লাইফ সাইকেলের মধ্যে যদি আমরা আরএনএ ভাইরাস কনসিডার করি, আরএনএ ভাইরাস হোয়েন ইট ইনফেক্টস দ্য হোস্ট, সো আরএনএটাকে কনভার্ট করতে হয় ডিএনএতে। সো তাদের লাইফ সাইকেলের মধ্যে ডিএনএ অ্যান্ড আরএনএ ক্যান বি প্রেজেন্ট, বাট এট এ টাইম আইদার ডিএনএ অর আরএনএ যে কোনো একটাই থাকতে পারে। সো কোয়েশ্চেনটা অনেকটা কমপ্লিকেটেড ব্যাপার। সো নেক্সট কোয়েশ্চেন ইজ হাউ ভ্যাকসিনেশন ওয়ার্ক। The immune system produces antibodies which stay in the blood. Memory lymphocytes are produced. They remain in the body to fight off any future infection with live pathogen. The dead pathogen stays inside the body and constantly stimulates the immune system. All the above. So vaccine যেটা করা হয়, যেটা ইমিউন সিস্টেমটাকে ইনডিউস করছে to produce antibody against that particular pathogen. তো মেমোরি লিম্ফোসাইট সেটাকে মেমোরাইজ করে রাখছে অ্যান্ড দ্যাট প্যাথোজেন যেটা ব্লাড স্ট্রিমের মধ্যে থাকছে অ্যান্ড ইট কনস্ট্যান্টলি ইনডিউসিং দ্য ইমিউন সিস্টেম টু প্রডিউস অ্যান্টিবডিজ। সো দ্য কারেক্ট অ্যান্সার উইল বি all the above. Menstrual flow occurs due to lack of which one of the following? Oxytocin, vasopressin, progesterone, FSH. So the correct answer is progesterone. প্রজেস্টেরনের পরিমাণটা যদি কম থাকে তাহলে মেনস্ট্রুয়াল ফ্লোটা বন্ধ হয়ে যাবে, কম হবে। which occurs due to lack of which one of the মানে following. তো প্রজেস্টেরন যদি থাকে মেনস্ট্রুয়াল ফ্লো বন্ধ হয়ে যাবে। তো প্রজেস্টেরন না থাকলে when progesterone is present the menstrual flow will occur, or if the progesterone is present basically the menstrual flow will stop. Opposite to that. Next is in homeostatic control of blood sugar level the organ function respectively as modular and effector. Liver and islet of Langerhans, hypothalamus and liver, hypothalamus and islet of Langerhans, islet of Langerhans and hypothalamus. The correct answer is hypothalamus and islet of Langerhans. While traveling to higher altitudes, people can feel pain in the air and dizziness. Which part or among the following is or are involved? Cochlea or air vesicles, tympanic membrane, eustachian tube, utricle, saccule, semicircular canals and cochlea, or none of the above. So the correct answer is eustachian tubule, utricle, saccule, semicircular canals and the cochlea. These all the organelles are involved. Next is about 180 liter of fluid is filtered by kidney every day. Only 1.5 liter is excreted in urine. A failure of which organ would result in higher volume of urine being formed? Pituitary gland, adrenal gland, hypothalamus, gallbladder. So obviously it will be related to hypothalamus. Which one of the following plasma protein is involved in coagulation of blood? Albumin, serum calcium, globulin, fibrogen. Fibrogen is responsible for blood coagulation. Essential to non-essential amino acid is lysine, leucine, methionine, threonine, valine, tyrosine, alanine, or cysteine. The correct answer is methionine and threonine. Methionine is essential amino acid and threonine is non-essential amino acid. Partial pressure of oxygen in the alveolar air. Partial pressure of oxygen in the alveolar air is 45 mmHg, 95 mmHg, 104 mmHg, or 1010. So correct answer is 104 mmHg. Which of the following is correctly represent the normal adult human dental formula? A, B, C, or D? The correct answer is basically C, that is 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3. So this is the correct formula. The main role of micro element is to act as constituents of amino acid, constituents of hormone, cofactor of enzymes, binder of cell structure. The micro element basically acts as a cofactor of enzyme. The amount of air can be inspired or expired normally is called tidal volume, vital capacity, residual volume, or normal volume. So the amount of air that can be normally inspired or expired is known as tidal volume. Which of the following human cell does not contain mitochondria? Liver cell, red blood cell, mast cell, neuroglial cell. Red blood cell basically does not contain any mitochondria. Which of the following is not part of a renal pyramid? Peritubal capillary, convoluted tubule, collecting duct, renal efferent arterioles. So among them, the correct answer is peritubular capillary. This is not part of renal pyramid. Which one of the following is an example of conditional reflex? Hand withdrawn pairs with a needle, eyes closed when anything enters into them. During digestion, food goes forwards the alimentary canal. Trained dog salivates when ring a bell. So correct answer is option D. Identify from the following a hormone produced by pituitary gland in both male and female but functional only in females. Vasopressin, relaxin, prolactin, inhibin. So the correct answer is option C. Prolactin is produced both male and female but it is inactive in male. মেলের মধ্যে সেটা inactive থাকবে. In male reproductive system, sperms are concentrated in the red testis, epididymis, vas deferens, seminal vesicle. So the sperm are concentrated in epididymis. Disease which is always present at low level in a given population is or a region is termed as pandemic, endemic, epidemic or notifiable disease. So this is known as basically epidemic disease when it is localized in a particular area. What product of immune system attaches to bacteria, making them easier to eaten by white blood cell? Antigen, hemoglobin, antibody, MHC molecule. This is basically antibody. The correct answer. What happened during fertilization in human after many sperm reaches close to the ovum? Secretion of acrosome helps one sperm to enter into the cytoplasm ovum through zona pellucida. All sperm except one nearest to the ovum lose their tails. Cells of corona radiata trap all sperm except one. Only one sperm nearest to the ovum penetrate to the zona pellucida. The correct answer is the secretion of acrosome that helps in the sperm to enter into the cytoplasm of the ovum through the zona pellucida. Which of the following is not function of insulin? Increase permeability of cell membrane to glucose, increase oxidation of glucose into the cells, initiates conversion of glucagon to glucose, initiates formation of hepatic glycogen from excess glucose. So this is not true about insulin. Initiates conversion of glucagon to glucose. This is not true about insulin. Next is retina is most sensitive to macula lutea, optic disc, fovea centralis or periphery. That is fovea centralis. Glucose and amino acids are reabsorbed in proximal convoluted tubule, distal tubule connecting the loop of Henle. So this glucose and amino acids are absorbed in the proximal convoluted tubule, that is PCT. The vein which is formed from the capillaries of an organ and terminates into capillaries in same other organs before entering into the heart cell is known as coronary vein, pulmonary vein, portal vein, systemic vein. This is known as portal vein. When oxygen supply in tissue is inadequate, the condition is known as dyspnea, hypoxia, aphaxia, aphasia. This is known as basically hypoxia. The correct answer is B. So with that we have completed the 2016 previous year question paper of biological science STGT. So thank you all for coming towards the end of this session. So in the next video we are going to solve the 2017 question paper. So do stay tuned and do not forget to subscribe and share with your family and friends so that they can also get benefited from this particular lecture. So thank you all.